All right, this is Mom. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. This is your Mother's Day present for pandemic 2020. So, anyway, I thought that I would do things I remember about my mom, or, well, that kind of sounds weird, but thinking about all the mom isms and I don't know, just memories that I have. I think about you always saying that your vegetables taste better warm than cold. Like you're going to eat them anyway. So, you might as well eat them while they're warm. And I think about you saying never burn your bridges, which I've tried really hard not to do, but, maybe a few along the way. And let's see what else. Well, when we said something that you didn't agree with, and you'd be like, well, I must have been on drugs when I said that. So you always would say that. And that was funny. Now we laugh at it. But I do think about making cookies, especially cutout cookies at Christmas time, and all the different colored frostings and the sprinkles and stuff like that. And now that I, have kids of my own, of course they're grown now, but boy, you had a lot of patience, because that, like the last thing, cutout cookies are just stressful without adding kids into the mix. But whatever. I'm not a baker, so maybe it was not so obnoxious. And letting us play our music in the car. Like, I don't know how many times we made you listen to Duran Duran. I'm sure we drove you crazy with that. And thinking about renting that cabin that one summer, and going to visiting that zoo might not have been the same thing. Maybe it wasn't the same time, but we visited that zoo. It was like somebody's backyard or something like that. It was one of those little side zoos that probably PETA pickets and stuff like that, and they had chickens running around, and you're like, oh, chickens, because you're afraid of the chickens. But that's okay. I have my own phobia, so I'm not laughing at you, but it's whatever. But I do remember renting that cabin that summer, and having lunch on the pier. And I have a picture of you standing there in shorts and bare feet, with your short pixie haircut. And that's, when I think about you, that's the picture that pops into my head even all these years later. I think about all the times Carla and I laughed and called you a quad, and then you laughed too, because I think mostly because you didn't know what that meant. And you crying, doing the ugly cry during the series finale of MASH, and telling us that the house had to be company perfect, which that's what I told my kids. The house has to be company perfect, clean. And I think about you buying your first Bible and making all of those little tabs for the different books in the Bible, because you didn't know that they made those in the store, which if I knew they had made them in the store, I would have got you some. I would not have let you spend an entire day making little tabs for your Bible. And joining my church, and then me baptizing you, and serving you communion, and you believing in us. I used to think that you just believed in us because you were our mom, and well, it kind of turns out I'm right, because now that my kids are 20 and 25, maybe that's what it means to be a good mom. You think that we could take over the world, and at least help us to believe that we could do the same thing. So thanks for being a great mom, and happy Mother's Day.